raising awareness about jihad and Sharia in America. It's a public safety issue when you give verified social media accounts to terrorist organizations and members of Antifa.
Miss Abrams.
Yes, ma'am.
My name's Laura Loomer. I'm a Jewish voter, and I would just wanted your comments on yesterday's attack at the synagogue.
I think it's good. She was that's what I was trying to convey.
Do you have any comments about the attack at the synagogue?
Here for this event.
You know, 11 Jews were killed yesterday, and Stacey Abrams is campaigning with a Jew hater, Linda Sarsour.
Or you hear people, especially the left and the Palestinians, calling for the return of the 67 line. They're calling for the annihilation of Israel, all right? They're calling for the destruction of Israel. Once you give them this land, and once you go back to the 67 line, there's just an opportunity to destroy Israel. What I want people to take from this video, more than anything, especially the Jewish people living in America, most of whom vote for the Democrats, is that another war is coming, right? It didn't just end with the Holocaust. It didn't just end with the killing and the murder of 6 million Jews. What we are witnessing around the world in places like Europe and now the United States is something that the people of Israel are well accustomed to and are preparing for and live every single day.
Right.
Closed for Jews. We can't go up right now because it's Ramadan, and the Muslims don't want the Jews up there in the afternoon during Ramadan.
I find it to be extremely disturbing that most Jews in America vote for the Democrat Party. They stand with a party that aligns themselves with Islam. And so when Jews align themselves with the Democrats, they align themselves with people who seek their downfall. And so if you could give a message to the American Jews, you are a United States citizen, what would that be?
My message to American Jewry is simple. Be proud Jews.
Hey guys, Laura Loomer here. I am currently in southern Israel on the Gaza border. And here in Israel, they take their border security very seriously. It's a lesson that we as Americans living in the United States should really take and learn from the Israelis.
He is not trying to implement. I don't care what the Quran says.
You should. There were studies, a Pew study showed that majority of Muslims in this country would rather live under Sharia law than the United States Constitution.
That's their choice.
No, it's not, because if you're living in America, uphold the United States Constitution and Sharia law.
So as you know, CARE is a designated Islamic terrorist organization. Ilhan Omar spews vile Jew hatred. We have a lot of protesters across the street with some Holocaust imagery, never again, American flags, Israeli flags. A lot of people are angry that a terrorist convention is taking place here in their community. So we're going to go talk to some of these protesters.
Listen, media, listen.
Nearly 70 years since the time of the Holocaust, we are now starting to normalize. These big tech social media companies like Facebook and Twitter are starting to normalize things like Jew hatred and Sharia law. It is crazy to think that even after the Holocaust, a Jewish journalist is banned for posting facts about individuals who preach hatred towards Jewish people, who call for the killing of Jews and Christians, but they allow for jihadis.
Ilhan Omar is allowed to tweet
these heinous, vile things, while a Jewish woman who was the first to criticize her before she was elected, when people should have been listening, Laura Loomer, is banned from Twitter.
Conservative journalist by the name of Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer is a Jewish kind of independent reporter.
Now they're saying, oh, Laura Loomer, a wonderful Jewish woman, friend of mine.
You were making a very strong point. I applaud you for what you've done, and you did it knowing what the risks are, and good for you. Thanks for being with us.
Rashida, are you willing to admit, as a congresswoman, that Hamas is a terrorist organization?
Elon, why did you marry your brother? It is a violation of campaign finance rules to use your campaign funds to pay for your divorce from your brother. CARE is recognized as a designated terrorist organization in United Arab Emirates. Both of these candidates have been endorsed by CARE, a terrorist organization. The federal government found during the Holy Land Foundation trial that CARE had ties to terrorism. They were funding Hamas, which Rashida, candidate for Congress, supports.